is managed appropriately and effectively, singleness is a gift. It's a gift. First of all, you must realize to be single implies that you are whole. Single. Not fraction, not 3/4, not 5/8, not 3/16. To be single means I am a whole person. And if you don't understand that, you will think that you're a fraction person needing somebody to complete you. You have to understand that you're a whole person looking for another whole person to complement you. Not to complete you, but to complement you. And God knows not to compete with you. Because a lot of people marry a competitor and they spend the rest of their lives competing with somebody that should complement you. It's gonna be good in here today. Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 34, he says that singleness is such a gift that he that is unmarried or she that is unmarried careth for the things of the Lord. He's talking about the freedom that you have to seek God, to pray, to call upon him, to do whatever you need to do. That freedom also carries over into your secular interests. You have freedom to go back to school. You have freedom to explore different talents and gifts you might have. You have freedom to plan a future for yourself. And if you manage singleness effectively, you have time and energy to do things that married people don't have time or energy to do. Because the more people that are in your life, the more they take from you. Every time you have a child, a little piece of your time and your attention and your affections and your emotions have to be divided because they live off of the breast milk of your compassion. You cannot have a spouse and it not alter your life. Because when you bring people in your life, you have to be prepared to feed that relationship. A lot of people don't know that. That's a simple truth, but a lot of people don't realize that marriage doesn't work organically. It has to be fed. They think that they can get a man or a woman in their life and continue on as if nothing has changed, but that is not true. Having somebody in your life, a significant person in your life, drastically alters your life in many positive ways, but it also takes some things from you, time and attention. You can't have a plant and not water it. You can't have a goldfish in a fish tank and not feed it. What in the world made you think you was going to have a man and not have to do something to sustain him, or have a woman and not have to do something to sustain him? See, some of the problem with our marriages is a lot of people are married living single. I'm going to get off of that. When singleness is not managed well, though, it becomes a real burden. It can become a real burden on your life. There's some interesting things that Paul says. He says, "For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man has his proper gift of God, one after this manner and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and to the widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I." If you can be single, he said, it's good to be single. It's not a disease. You don't need to be cured from it. It's not a curse. It's not a plague. There's nothing wrong with it. He said it's a good thing. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But he says singleness, when it is not managed well, can really be a problem. It can really be difficult. It can really be a struggle. It can really be painful because our society models relationship. Our movies model relationships. Our soap operas model relationship. Our commercials model relationship. You know, for every Barbie, there's a Ken. And when you see it on TV, they cast the script so that there are enough men and enough women. And if this world were cast properly, things would be different. But the reality is the stats are out of balance and getting worse every day between men and women. There's a deficiency of the amount of eligible men compared to the amount of eligible women, and it kind of changes the dynamics a little bit. And we're going to get into some of those dynamics and how you manage some of those issues. Of all the things that God said were good in the creation, All the things he created and said it's good, it's good. The evening and the morning was the first day, and God said it was good, and it was good. And the evening and the morning was the second day, and God said it was good, and it was good. And the evening and the morning was the third day, and God said it was good, and it was good. The one thing he said it was not good, he said it's not good for man to be alone. It's not good for man to be alone. Think about that a minute. When they take inmates into prison, one of the ways they torture them is isolation. Big old strong murderer, killed 6 people, and now he's in a corner crying like a baby because he's left alone. Something about men, we don't do good alone. I think we have a harder time with that than women do. It's not always good to manage alone. Let's go deeper in that. It is not good for man to be alone. Now, I'm going to wax a little bit theological for a minute. You must realize that when God created Adam, he created Adam with Eve inside of him. Okay, the Bible says male and female created he them and called his name Adam. And when God says it's not good for man to be alone, what he's really saying is it's not good for man to be all one. It's not good for man to be all one. It's the only time God criticizes his own creative process and says, I got to go in there and do a little bit more work. I got to go in there and do a little bit more work to make this thing turn out the way it's supposed to be. What made God do some more work? It's because the Bible says that Adam started searching and searching and searching. Tell somebody, say, the search is on. You'd be amazed how the search is on. Young single people searching.